I can see the ice dams melting outside the window. Drip, 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 drip. Celine always says how much she loves my hair, so I'm sure she would love my hair the most right after it's been washed and dried, like right now. My mom just knocked on the door. Can you tell me what I should say to the woman in the office? I don't know what to say to her. I asked you to please not call her while I'm home, Mama. I'll tell you what to say to her, just don't call while I'm here. $177.4. Do you know, I believe I read somewhere, I mean, clinically speaking, but obviously I'm not obese, but I think that's technically considered obese. If I'm 177.4 pounds and I'm 5'9.5" in bare feet. It might technically be considered obese, which is a joke, of course. But somebody wrote that in a comment one time about something or other. I think it was talking, it was about the woman, it was about they were featuring the plus size models and this, that, whatever. They were talking about this, that, whatever, but they were saying, because some guys who don't have a clue are like, something like a 5 foot, what the hell did they say? Something like a 5'10" woman should never weigh over something or other. It was ridiculous. Because guys don't have a clue. They don't realize that there are different size bone structures, small, medium, large, different proportions, etc., etc., okay? It was a guy, and he was being very ignorant, and people put him in his place. Because he just doesn't realize. He doesn't realize. Even in that book, that celebrity diet tips and whatnot, I mean, Nicki Minaj, they say she's 5'4", I think, and no, she's 5'2", what the hell did they say? She was like 20 pounds over that 5 pounds, 100 pounds for 5 feet, 5 pounds for each, so she was I think she's 5'4", which would make her 120 pounds, and she was 140 pounds, something like that. She doesn't look remotely heavy or whatnot. I mean, these men don't realize what women really weigh. They don't. They don't. They go by the model statistics or whatnot. They don't realize that the women they think or whatever are actually like 20 pounds over what men would think, you know, they should be. It's ignorant fucks who write shit like that. But regardless, I think clinically, technically, at 5'9.5" and 177 pounds, I'm technically considered obese. I mean, I think. Remember, I don't say that I'm right unless I'm sure, so I say I think, you know. The thing with my mom, Auntie picking her up with the recipe for that one day, and my mom, and specifically so my mom could go to her bank and get cleared up the rent check that it bounced. I know I'm right about that. I know that that happened. I talked to my mom that night, and she told me everything that happened that day. The bank, the post office, everything. I know that it happened. Okay? So that's not me always thinking I'm right or being arrogant. That's me knowing that something happened. just because my mom couldn't remember instantly when I reminded her, nudged her a little bit, and she's like, oh yeah, I do remember. See? But this thing with me being considered clinically obese at 177, 5'9", half a bare feet, I'm not sure. So I think a lot of that's a lot of hooey anyway. When I'm not positive I'm right, and I don't, as I'm accused, I don't always have to be right. It's not true. But if I'm positive I'm right. And again, the woman in the office wasn't there when Auntie Mom drove to put the check in the slot box to clear up one of the thing that had bounced or whatnot, as my friend refers to as checking. So maybe the check got misplaced, lost, or whatnot. I'm not saying that couldn't have happened. I'm saying it might not have happened. I'm saying perhaps that check was cashed, and because it came late and because of all the confusion, it simply wasn't noted rent paid for my mom, that's all. I'm simply wanting it investigated. That doesn't make me an arrogant know-it-all who always thinks I'm right. I simply know I'm right, that my mom had that all cleared up, or so she thought, and the woman in the office didn't bother to say anything, so it could just be a simple human error. Why not investigate it and save my mom that money if she doesn't have to pay it? That's all. That's it. Anyway, I didn't get that thing into the court today. Deep down, I don't really think it matters all that much, for a number of reasons. The nice office clerk female, I talked to over the phone for a little bit of time. Find out she was one of those victims of falling ice from a truck. I said, I hope you weren't hurt. She's like, no. I said, you weren't the one I saw on the news, were you? She's like, no. But it's horrible. A big chunk of ice fell in her car while she was driving. She was okay, but she might not have been okay. That kind of shit happens in this kind of historical weather. Anyway, she was really nice, and we were talking about how are they real sticklers if I'm like late, and she's like, well, it probably wouldn't be good if you were like a month late or something, and I had promised, I had said I would get, she's like, we're going to note it no matter what. I mean, they could be sticklers and say it technically didn't get in within the 30 days, but then the judge would probably override it, and she explained how sometimes we can't control the mail. Someone might mail something and it might not get here as fast with it, so they weren't open yesterday, okay? So technically it didn't have, the 30 days was up today. I'll get it in tomorrow. I mean, I don't feel like I'm all that significant regarding any of this anyway. Plus, talking to that woman, I don't think it's so set in stone that it absolutely had to be there within 30 days. And if it is, then everybody else's was in the time period, And again, there's a lot of variables. I didn't know what to write. The guardianship part was completely dismissed, so now I didn't even know if I had to turn this in, because originally I would have been writing it and that I was against, the whole kit and caboodle, the guardianship and whatnot. I mean, when all is said and done, the conservatorship is of a hell of a lot better than if a stranger had become my mom's guardian, or if, or if the nursing home thing or all that, what I mean?